Good afternoon, everybody. It's Mary Jo Coulihan. I'm the Executive Director of the Pagosa Springs Chamber of Commerce. I welcome you this Wednesday afternoon, the Wednesday after Labor Day weekend. We hope everybody had a great weekend, that you didn't labor too much, and you did get to enjoy some of this weekend. We want to thank our sponsors today, who are Walmart, and we appreciate you sponsoring this live stream show. Walmart is one of our premier chamber members. Coming out tomorrow, I printed an article for some upcoming road closures here in Pagosa Springs and surrounding area. And already that article is obsolete. So we have some corrected road closure information for you. And I bring this up now because it's really important for people going to Durango as well as people traveling in and around the area. So let's go over some of those road closures. First and foremost, we do know that Highway 160 around from about 5th Street to about 10th Street is narrowing down to one lane in either direction. And that is because of the McCabe Creek Culvert Project. Okay, say that 3 times really fast. This is not just a short fix, everybody. It is a long haul for us. It has been a project that has been in the works for years, and it will continue. It is a 2-year project. This road narrowing will continue on until about the end of November, or when the CDOT work season kind of closes down, and they're anticipating that to be up until about November. So please be aware of that. Make changes in your schedule, getting into downtown, getting in and around. But most importantly, don't forget those businesses in and around those closures, and make sure that you stop in and see them and make sure you give them some business. So these businesses are impacted. So that's kind of the Antique Store and Subway and Rainbow Gifts. So give a shout out to them and make sure that maybe if you're sitting in line too long, you want to pull in and help them out and buy something. The other road closure that we have is another really big one, another CDOT project, and that is along Highway 151. So that is the wildlife overpass, and it was scheduled to be from September 13th through the 17th. It has now been postponed to September 20th through the 24th, so a week later. And that is a night closure. So the road will be closing east of Highway 160, and that is very important. So if those of you who may be coming to or from Durango think, oh, not a big deal, I'm just going to scoot around and go down Ignacio and shoot up 161 and connect in, not happening. It is east of that closure, so you will not be able to do that from 9 o'clock at night until 6 a.m. the next morning. And then, of course, it is back down to one lane. That, again, is scheduled to take place from September 20th through the 24th, not the original dates of September 13th through the 17th. So again, early morning flights to Durango, please know you need to be careful and watch out for that. The other road closure that has been postponed is smaller, but certainly still an impact, and that is that South 5th Street. So that is the road at the stoplight by Plaza Liquors that makes that goes south and over to the geothermal greenhouse domes, growing domes, as well as the backside of the county courthouse, as well as Root House Coffee Shop and Tequilas. So if you're interested in continuing, as you should, to patronize these businesses, please make sure you park on the front side and walk down that little hill, or walk into Tequilas on the front side. So you can park in the overlook and on Highway 160, just not around the backside. That also makes inaccessible the electric fast charging stations for all of you who may have electric cars. So that is a little bit of a closure, and that will be from September 22nd to the 24th. That also was scheduled for a week ahead of schedule. That has been delayed. So we are now looking at the 22nd through the 24th for the South 5th Street closure as well. It's a little bit, it's summer. We're all trying to get our roads upgraded and projects done. So take a deep breath and turn on your radio or listen to a book, and we're just going to have to be patient. The end results will be great. So thank you. And I just wanted to let everybody know about those road closures, and all my articles are now obsolete. So, but thanks to CDOT and the town for getting us that updated information. We really, really appreciate it. I'm really honored to bring on our guest today. We just finished the Four Corners Folk Festival, and that was a celebration of 25 years, thanks to Dan Appenzeller and Krista Monroe, who brought that event to us. KSUT has taken over that event, and KSUT Presents, with all the different events that they are producing. So we're kind of in this mindset of remembrances, and it is the 20-year anniversary of September 11th and all the disasters that happened on that day. Here locally, while we're thousands of miles away from New York and Washington and whatnot, we have our own reason to be thankful, and that's because of our what we term our first responders. And I have with us today Karn, who's the Deputy Assistant for the Pagosa Fire Protection District here in Pagosa Springs. And, the fire department obviously is one of our first responders. And I think sometimes we just take for granted those people that we turn to in a crisis. But we want to absolutely acknowledge our first responders. And our first responder group is doing a memorial kind of celebration this coming weekend in remembrance of the 9/11 attacks. Karn, welcome to our show today. Tell us a little bit about what's going to happen on that day and what prompted us to have this remembrance celebration.
Well, thank you for having me, Mary Jo. It's an honor to be on the show. Good afternoon, everybody. Just wanted to fill everybody in. I appreciate the accolades of the community as a first responder, but we wanted to share with the community this year, the 20th anniversary of 9/11, with everybody. So we're having some different activities that involve the community to help us remember that special day. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is a fun run, starting at our Station 1 at 191 North Pagosa Boulevard. That'll start exactly at 7:30 after a bell ceremony and lowering of the flags. As soon as the bell ceremony is done, the race will begin. So exactly at 7:30. After that, we will have a first responder procession that will start at the high school and go up 8th Street and end up at our wonderful Veterans Park on Vista Boulevard. And we will have our ceremony there, and that'll start at 10 o'clock. And I really hope that everybody can come and enjoy. If you do come to our memorial, please bring your own seating. Otherwise, you'll have to stand. We're not providing any tables and chairs. We welcome everybody, and we want the community to come and join us and truly never forget.
Sure. Karn, who are some of the departments that are locally that are participating in this event?
We will have ourselves, the Pagosa Fire Protection District. We'll have our EMS division of Upper San Juan Health Services, and we'll have the Sheriff's Office and the Police Department, and any other responders that want to show up at the last minute. If DOW wants to come in and join us, or State Patrol, they are definitely welcome with open arms.
Great. And in the fun run, will it be a run or a walk? Can you do kind of both? I'm not a runner, but I like to walk.
Absolutely, it's it's a fun run by definition. Some people think that's a little weird when they say fun and run in the same sentence, but it's there's no prizes, there's no time. It's just get out and exercise, and it kind of plays tribute to some of the firefighters that were either stuck in traffic and had to loaded up their gear, and they ran from the tunnels to the tower. And just the kind of the sacrifice that the first responders that died that day had to endure in order, to save lives.
Well, that's a wonderful way to have a fun event in that memory of, you hear those stories. I know that there's a lot of stuff right now out on social media kind of as a lead up to this day, and that's a lot of people just, where were you and what were you doing on that day? And we certainly all think about that. I still remember where I was and when I heard about it, and I was preparing for this show today thinking about it, and just thought about where I was and who I first spoke to and how people were just mesmerized and glued to the television, and really a huge tragedy for our nation. But what comes from that now in remembrance of that, but to bring it to present day and everything again that our first responders do, not only across the nation, but here in Little Pagosa Springs, as we call it.
Absolutely. I remember exactly what I was doing. In fact, I ended up, I was in Delta, Colorado in a training, and I was actually late to training because I was just listening to the news, getting ready, and everything just stopped. And, watching the news, I ended up late to class, and come to find out everybody else in the class was late too, because we were just stuck on the television watching what was going on. And that real sense of dread and fear and unknown that, the world might never be the same after that.
Sure. And we have a piece of that history here, do we not, here in Pagosa Springs?
Absolutely. We actually have a piece of one of the steel girders that's at our memorial at Station 1.
Great. So
have
and that's where we're going to start off on Saturday morning. So
absolutely,
that will be great. So once again, I think just for the community, it's a time for us to gather and to remember, and again, to honor all of those, our fellow residents that live here and our first responders here in our community. Karn, if there's anything else that you'd like to bring to the forefront, what else would you like to say before we close out the show?
Well, I just hope that we can get as many people to join us in remembrance and honor those that didn't make it that day, and those that are still struggling with some of the illnesses that they did when they were actually spending as much time and doing the recovery efforts in the pile for the 9 months. We just want everybody to enjoy and just kind of remember and reflect. And life is short, and live it to the best you can.
Absolutely. We shall. And thanks again to everybody here in Pagosa Springs, our police departments and our sheriff's departments, the fire department, our EMS crew, our hospital crew, everybody that we consider first responders, our state patrol. Thank you, our National Guard, our military. Thank you all for what you do. And let's go out and just on Saturday morning have some remembrances. Remember, we start the morning, if you would like, again at the Station 1 on North Pagosa Boulevard with at 7:30, and then the actual kind of memorial events starting at 10 o'clock over at the Veterans Memorial Park on Vista Drive. There's plenty of parking there, but as Karn mentioned, you might want to bring a seat. Thank you, Karn, once again to you and all your compatriots and over there at the fire department, and we thank you. And down here downtown, we always get nervous when we hear your sirens coming through town, but we always say a little prayer of safety for all of you and hope that it's nothing ever serious. So thank you for what you do. And we'll see everybody out there on Saturday. Thanks again for joining us today. Remember all those road closures, and remember, next weekend, 10 days away, we're counting down, is Colorfest activities for the Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be talking about that next Wednesday, but remember, there are still tickets available for just a few for Friday night for the Passport to Pagosa Wine and Food Festival and the Beer Festival on Saturday. We're going to be welcoming back Lisa Saunders and the Cabarado Band, as well as Felix y Los Gatos, and they will be playing music, as well as Dream Machine on Friday night. So lots of great entertainment. We'll be talking about it a lot more in detail. You can see where you can purchase tickets, either through Big Tickets or on the Chamber website. Just click on that big Colorfest icon, and that'll take you to where you need to go. Also, if you are still interested in volunteering, we have a few slots left that we would love to have you help us with, even from serving food from one of our great restaurants. So we're helping them out so they can help us out. So let's make it a community event. We'll talk to you next week more about Colorfest. But in the meantime, everybody, have a great weekend and enjoy this gorgeous fall weather. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.